Donny Schatz's future is still very much up in the air, and we'll talk through what his options are today and what I'm hearing about this situation. Plus, Hunt the Front sells some equipment and teams get in some laps and testing here late in the season. Let's go. It's Wednesday, October 22nd. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. Did you know that DIRTRACKR is available over on Patreon? You can actually find the show at patreon.com/DIRTRACKR. That's DIRTRACKR. It's free to sign up there and just another way to keep up with everything dirt racing. If you do sign up for the top tier premium membership there, you can get the daily show ad free. That means no platform ads. If you don't know what platform ads are, that means the ads that YouTube rolls or Facebook rolls during videos. And there's no ad content from me, so none of the stuff that I read once you start watching the show. You're only going to get the dirt racing with those ad-free shows. Members also get access to their own chat. There's other content and more perks. If you want to join, hit up patreon.com/DIRTRACKR. You can also support the show on YouTube with a channel membership. They get you some added perks for just a few bucks a month. Click the join button at youtube.com/DIRTRACKR for more information on how to sign up. Those are just options too if you would like to contribute, monetarily to what we're doing around here. You certainly don't have to. Just open it up as an option for people that want to support the show that way. With Brad Sweet's retirement now public and the Stenhouse Marshall team hiring Spencer Baston and Rico Abreu partnering with Tony Stewart Racing and a few other deals pretty much sewn up behind the scenes, one of the biggest sprint car situations still without a resolution for 2026 is Donny Schatz's future. Since getting released from TSR after the Knoxville Nationals, we've seen him race for Big Game Motorsports. He raced for Lunstra. He ran out west with Paul Silva and Works Limited, and now he's been racing this new deal with this kind of joint side situation with JVI. Since August 15th, Schatz has run 18 World of Outlaws races. He's got 1 top 5, 7 top 10s, and 2 B main exits. His average finish in features made is 12.5. Those stats are about as unshots as it gets when you look over his entire kind of body of work and career. And he's still winless in a sprint car since Lincoln back in October of 2024. I do think one important bit of context on this most recent stretch, though, with JVI and sides is that Schatz is pretty significantly down on equipment. They can't afford to, crash or pop engines, and I'm sure that Schatz is really driving accordingly. Right now, it's about survival and getting to the end of the season. You can't be out taking risks and trying to win when knowing that things are so fragile. Schatz's numbers have certainly taken a hit, but I don't know that he's as bad as the results show here lately. A problem for Schatz, though, at least in terms of his banquet check from the Outlaws coming up here in a couple of weeks, is that 6th place points position, it's not guaranteed. He had a solid lead over Bill Balog weeks ago, but right now it's down to just 48 points with 5 features still to run. If you're looking for subplots to watch over the final few races, this might be a small one to pay attention to. My batting average over the last several weeks for silly season stuff, I think it's sitting pretty good right now, but this Schatz deal is just a tough one to call. Several weeks ago, it sounded like Schatz basically had his 2026 plan set, but here on October 22nd, I don't know where we stand. The deal he supposedly had might not be happening, or maybe it still is. I had a text yesterday from someone in the sprint car community that word is going around that Schatz is retiring, but I just don't know what to believe right now. The rumored ride that Schatz had locked down was a deal back at Big Game to be partnered up with David Gravel as a 2-car operation for 2026. And that was obviously where Schatz was supposed to be after losing the TSR deal, at least for 7 races. But things fell apart after that first night Ogilvy crash. Big Game didn't have the equipment and the spares necessary to field a second car post that crash, and that was when Lunstra stepped in. Big Game team owner Todd Quiring continued to back Schatz, though, during that Lunstra stretch. In the weeks since, I've heard of crew members telling people they were going to go work at Big Game to be on Schatz's car for 2026. I've heard stories about Quiring in the market and shopping around for a second trailer. Obviously, he's going to need more stuff if he's going to run a second car. And Schatz's name hasn't really been in the rumor mill kind of tied to any other deals. When I share stuff here on the show, it's usually backed by multiple sources or at the very least one really good source. But the word on the streets around Schatz, it's just too scattered right now to know what to take seriously. If it's not Big Game, I don't really know where else it would be. Tom Book and Book Motorsports with the 13, they're looking for a young driver. And Schatz has said multiple times he's not a high limit fan. I guess it's possible he could stay on with the sides thing if maybe he could find some more backing, but I don't know how realistic that is, especially given the equipment is already pretty sparse. Everything else on the national level pretty much off the market right now. I have heard from people, though, that Donny himself doesn't seem to be too worried about any of it and that he's been in good moods out on the road. I guess take that for whatever it's worth. I think this is just one we'll have to wait on and see what happens here, see what plays out in the next couple of weeks. Moving on, I had a question in the comments on yesterday's show about Hunt the Front's plans for next year, given they're selling some stuff. And that stuff they sold was their truck and trailer, which was a typical late model toter home setup. It's easy to see that and start thinking and assuming things, but I don't know that I'd read too much into this just yet. In their most recent video, Jonathan Joyner said they've been planning this for a while and that if they keep racing out of their own shop full time, they were wanting to upgrade for next year anyway. He did say their plans for 2026 are still not decided. As we've talked about here on the show, there have been rumblings that Joseph Joyner could remain in that JCM Motorsports ride full-time into next season, with a possible Lucas rookie run in the cards. Joyner has made starts with JCM here towards the end of the year, appearing in 9 Lucas races. His best result is a 7th place finish that came twice at Batesville and at Knoxville. He was 21st this past weekend at the Dirt Track World Championship at Eldora. Even if he does stay with JCM, the Hunt the Front team would probably still run their own 10 car on off weekends through the season, so they'd still need some sort of truck and trailer. Even coming up, the team is headed to Wynot this week for the Fall Classic, but they're using their smaller trailers to make that happen, including one that's actually an open trailer. I haven't heard anything super recent on where things stand with JCM and Joyner, but I'd imagine we'll have more clarity here in the coming weeks. Moving on, over the last few days, there have been a bunch of cars on track over at the Dirt Track at Charlotte testing in advance of both the World Short Track Championship and World Finals. There have been late models, modified, sprint cars each night getting laps in, and some interesting names have been in attendance. The other night, NASCAR Cup Series driver Carson Hocevar was back in a dirt late model for the first time in a while. I think I saw it's been a year or two since he did that. We've also seen a bunch of touring guys getting laps in. That's included Nick Hoffman and Tim McCready, Brian Shirley, Bobby Pierce, Brandon Shepard, Jonathan Davenport, Brandon Overton, and Drake Troutman, among others. Sprint car guys mixed in have included Ricky Thornton Jr. and Parker Price Miller with Bernie. Corey Day has been out there, it looks like, with a couple of cars. Ty Gibbs has been in Chad Boat's car. Gio Scelzi has been out there, and so has Dale Blaney. The entry lists for World Finals are populating over on MRP and already have some pretty solid numbers here, even given a few weeks out. And I think, with who we've seen during this test, I think all 3 divisions are going to be stout at Charlotte for World Finals. On the sprint car side, even with the high limit guys, a lot of those guys shutting down for the year, I wouldn't be shocked to see 40 or 50 cars coming up. You can see some of the timing and scoring stuff for yourself for the testing over on Race Monitor. That's the Daily Show for today. If you've gotten all the way to this point in the episode and you don't already subscribe to the show, maybe consider hitting that button. You can subscribe for free on YouTube and the podcast places, and like and follow on Facebook. New shows are posted 5 days a week to those platforms, plus DIRTRACKR.com. Hope you guys have a great Wednesday out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.